What's up, America? Ukrainian girl killed on a bus in North Carolina by a career criminal after she fled the war in Ukraine. So about a week or so ago, I made a video on here telling everybody about a girl from the Ukraine that made it to North Carolina escaping the horrors of war, only to be killed by a career criminal in a random unprovoked attack. But the entire time since she was killed, the media has been completely silent on her murder. So now footage has emerged of the guy murdering the girl on the bus. She was just sitting there on her phone scrolling, and he pulled out a knife and started stabbing her in the neck until she died. Then he's seen with a bloody knife changing his clothes and just walking away, while other men are sitting there watching it, doing absolutely nothing to help, like fucking pussies. So that's a whole other topic right there, because I need to ask what the fuck is wrong with men, but I digress. However, the media, the mainstream media here in the United States, has had no news coverage about it whatsoever. Even though on social media, everybody is calling for the guy that killed her to be executed, and millions of people have talked about it and reposted it, every news site in the United States has not said shit about it except the London Daily Mail. The New York Times did not post a story. The Wall Street Journal did not post a story. CNN did not post the story. The Associated Press did not post the story. None of these reputable news sources gave a shit enough. And you want to know why? Because the girl that was stabbed to death was a little white girl, and the guy that did it was a large black male that had been arrested 14 times and released for other violent crimes. They don't want to show you that narrative because of the racial aspect of it. However, I'm going to talk about that because fuck the mainstream media. They're fucking lying to you through omission on purpose. So here's the Ukrainian girl that fled the horrors of war to come to the safety of America to be murdered by this guy. Here's one of his many mugshots as he had been arrested 14 times in the past for violent crimes. Yet he was allowed to randomly murder that girl because apparently Charlotte, North Carolina has a problem dealing with criminals properly. See, this is DeCarlos Brown, 35. Here's the Ukrainian girl getting on the tram. Here's her just scrolling on the phone through TikTok or something, and there's the guy winding up to stab her to death in an unprovoked random attack. Like I said, this guy had been in jail 14 times in the past for violent crimes, so why was he here murdering a Ukrainian girl sitting there scrolling on her phone? And of course, the bigger question, why is the American media silent? Of course, as you know, we already know the answer. She was white, he was black. That narrative doesn't hold water to the mainstream liberal media, so therefore we will not talk about it, according to my opinion. So once again, trying to protect minorities in the United States, we will not discuss horrific murder, in my opinion. So the guy initially did 5 years in jail for armed robbery. Then he was arrested for assaulting his sister, leaving her with major injuries. Then in the same month, he was also arrested for injury and personal property damage, plus trespassing. He had came to a property, kicked in a door, was told not to come back, so he came back and assaulted the person. Also arrested for disorderly conduct, and the record goes all the way back to 2007 when he was still a minor. Also in the past, he had been arrested for felony larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and communicating death threats. See, and that's the problem, is this story happens over and over and over, yet the media omits the story constantly to protect a narrative of the kind, gentle population that would never kill white people. But the bottom line is we all have to understand there are people out there that are racially motivated to kill white people, as what you see right here. And it needs to be addressed, not hidden. This is a crime of race, in my opinion. It was done by a black man who hated white people, and he did it on purpose. He had a history of violence, and in my opinion, the media is purposely burying the story because it doesn't fit the narrative that the liberals have created for America, which is a false bullshit narrative, in my opinion.